Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe we might be working now. Potentially. God only knows. I knew I should have streamed on the PS4. Because apparently every single setting is defaults to off. Your audio defaults to off. Party audio defaults to off. Just everything is just off. And nothing is where you found it on the PS4 either. I don't even know if this stream is working. It would be my luck it's not. Okay, yeah, well, there's that answer. So it is working. To re-handle the introductions, although most people who are watching probably already aware of what's going on. This is the NASCAR Cup Series NASCAR Cup Series Championship finale here from Las Vegas. We're already about 15 laps into the event. The main cars to keep an eye on being the 88 here of Grayson Perry, who's currently got about a 2-second lead, I would say. AJ Knickel, one of the other ones competing for this championship in the 18 behind, working with Jojo Heitzman, who's conveniently our onboard guy, who's showing the lap counter on his stream to help me figure that out, because the game made in 2019 for some reason didn't include a lap counter and basic top 10 leaderboard. Just everything's missing today, apparently. The other championship contenders are somewhere. The 3 of Luke Allen and the 20 somewhere. Oh, Michael Unzalker's not here. Alright, well, that's his problem. So yeah, I guess it's just the 20. Nope. It's the 18, the 3, and the 88 that we keeping an eye on. There's not really a whole lot going on up or down the field right now. Most of it is pretty spread out.
However, I do think we are coming up on some green flag pit stops here in the next probably 8 or 9 laps or so. I think when I looked at JoJo's screen, it said 28 laps of fuel in the tank, and we've got 20 laps to go here in stage number 1. So obviously stage points don't matter in this race, but still going to be an interesting thing to see how people pit to try to set themselves up for the beginning of the next stage, because that ultimately is going to decide where they start for the final stage, which does matter.
And track position, it doesn't matter too much here, but it never hurts. So to be able to put yourself in advantageous positions is, if you don't have to pass cars, you don't want to, even if it's very possible to do here compared to some other tracks on the NASCAR calendar.
Oh, as we look for the second position, JoJo Siwa looking to get around the 18 of AJ Knickel. A little bit of contact down the back straightaway. JoJo's going to cut down to the bottom, and I think he's going to just about clear the 18. He is clear into that second position. JoJo might be on the move here.
Meanwhile, behind them, I just watched Jackson Schumacher in the 34 make contact with the other one of our championship contenders, Luke Allen, back here. As they're fighting for position, I think they made contact out of 4. The 34 has Dylan Thomas in the 1 car for company, but I don't know if it's for assistance. He's just going to back out as the other 2 get ever closer down the back straightaway.
As we have 1 car on pit road, looks like it's the 37.
That'd be Skylar Nicole. The 3 and 34 make even more contact, again exiting 4.
Got Justin McCarty in the 48 coming out of pit road. The 37, as you mentioned, coming down. I think I saw 1 more car maybe pitting there. I could be wrong. Yep, the 19 of Jackson Tate. He's down pit road.
On the background, the 24 car just about loses control. He's lucky to not spin out all the way there. He's going to lose sight of this battle for P4, though, between the 1, 34, and 3.
I think that was actually the 24 signaling he's coming to pit road, as he does this time around.
Maybe. It looked like he was out of control. So Knickel's maybe desperately attempting the undercut here. Because if we don't, if we're going to try something, Grayson Perry's just going to waltz off into the sunset, so... And I also forgot another factor of this game's spectate camera is the The switching through the drivers doesn't go in the order they're running, but in the order they qualified. And Grayson Perry, absolutely all on his lonesome out here. AJ Nickel exits the pit lane. That's not right. There's not really much to look at from his perspective until after all of the pit stops cycle out.
A big part of this, though, is that Grayson Perry and JoJo were still out on the racetrack. Grayson doesn't look like he slowed down at all. I'm looking at his lane. He's actually running all the way down on that white line. Most of the time through 1-2 as he actually slides up just a little bit there. I don't look to see him start to lose pace, but that's another thing with these pit stops. This first pit stop is going to throw everything for a loop because these guys are running on default preset setups right now. They come down pit road, they're going to have their personal adjustments in, so we may see this race flip on its head, really.
Yeah, that's
pit road.
NASCAR series racing always a slow burn, even on the best of days. The first 100 laps of this race honestly might as well not even happen. This might as well just be a 30-something lap to run to the finish, especially if you're one of the championship drivers.
Grayson Perry coming down pit road this time, so he's going to be the last of the top 3 to come in. Here come the 3 and the 34 as well. So Luke Allen, the third championship, championship 3 contender now, and Schumacher are in as well.
And the 6 car is also in behind them. Not quite as relevant. He wasn't really in that pack, but he's still there. That's Chase Hansen, I think, is the 6. Where do I put my camera now? I guess we'll just see how... We see AJ Nickel has cleared JoJo on his own pit exit. Let's see if he can do the same with the 88 somehow, some way. Admittedly, I'm not convinced because Grayson Perry just had so much of a lead. I don't think even a lap or 2 undercut really going to cut into that a whole lot. So look for the camera to pan out here.
Looking at it, he's going to be probably about 3/10 off of Grayson Perry by the time they get through the corner. And that's about what it's looking like. It's actually still shrinking. Grayson Perry not quite up to speed.
I might have a run on him here, actually. He might try around the outside, battle for the lead between title contenders. But I think once the 88 gets all the way up to speed, it might be a formality here in stage 1.
Yeah, I think unfortunately the difference for AJ Nickel is going to be those 4 or 5 lap fresher tires that Grayson Perry's going to have on him. Same thing for JoJo. So AJ's going to fall from what is right now the 2nd spot to 3rd, maybe even 4th. I don't know how deep it's going to go. But it's not looking too hot for AJ Nickel. But that's the good thing right now. He took a strategy. It's stage 1. It doesn't really matter. Thankfully, points are out the window for this race. And I think that that's also him maybe trying to figure out something for later on in the race. If it's going to work in that 3rd stage. Obviously, we learned right now that it wouldn't in that situation. But put it in the notebook.
Pretty decent thing to note is that the 1 car of Dylan Thomas actually inserted himself into this space on his own pit cycle. I have to assume he might have taken only 2 tires based on the way that JoJo just kind of drove around him just then. And Grayson Perry has already extended that lead to probably AJ Nickel having lost the draft on the 88. I don't think the 4 would have draft on AJ yet either. That might change by the end of this lap based on the pace that the 4 car is currently making. So I think this is Grayson Perry's stage to lose, but as we've been keen to point out on ad nauseum, stage points don't necessarily mean a whole lot. It's just where you're running when the checkered flag is in the air. A comfort that is no doubt keeping Luke Allen at least a little bit optimistic because he's not up there running with the championship leaders. He's running in the mid-pack, running for a battle for 5th, I believe this would be.
Well, in some ways, there's disadvantages to that, and there's also advantages to that, if you think about it. Advantage is he's running in a pack right now compared to Grayson Perry and AJ, who are running up front, kind of not necessarily in clean air, but not really having to be in the hectic spots. When we get to the third stage, they could all be around each other, and Luke Allen's going to know what this car is going to do in dirty air, what it's going to do if there's a car who's outside, inside, whatever. So, in my opinion, I think this might be a little bit of an advantage right now for Luke Allen.
He's getting rigorous combat training, whereas, in the words of the great Fernando Alonso, this guy only knows how to start first and drive. The other two, especially Grayson Perry, if he's running away the way that he has, he's going to have absolutely no idea what to do if he has to, heaven forbid, pass another race car on the track.
Speaking of passing race cars on the racetrack, JoJo is all over the back bumper of the number 18 M&M's machine of AJ Knickel. Going to look to the outside. JoJo going to run just about on the wall. AJ down to the bottom. AJ's not really going to be able to hold him off, though. He's coming out of turn 2. JoJo's going to have a huge run on that number 18 machine, and he should be set sail into the second position.
He's not quite clear, and the inside lane is better in the way into the turn. But I think on the exit here, JoJo will finish that move off. It's based on our little stream in the corner. They have just crossed for 6 to go. 5 to go, I can math. Grayson Perry has already lapped down at least one car. He's lapped the 37 of Skylar Nicole, who the original no mic audio stream picked up the fact that the 37 and the 9 got involved in a wreck early on. That's why the 9 is very much on his lonesome here.
To my surprise, AJ Knickel making a run back on the 4 machine for the second position.
Yeah, the run on the outside is always going to be strong, though, so AJ's just going to have to really chuck it into 3 here if he wants to try and clear. And this isn't even for... this isn't for champion either. Jojo Heitzman is not in the championship 4, but that doesn't obviously mean he doesn't need to... He's not expected to just get out of the way either. The only real expectation... The only real expectation is that he doesn't run into Knickel, which... I mean, they have none so far.
This also could be AJ Knickel, like we said about Luke Allen. Maybe, obviously, Allen's probably not back there because he wants to be back there, but maybe trying to figure out what this car is capable of for him on the bottom. Obviously, his lane could change. It could be on the outside against the bottom, but on these older tires than before, maybe trying to figure out where these tires might have an advantage, or if they don't have an advantage anywhere and he's just kind of SOL. Meanwhile, in New Zealand, we talk about Grayson Perry, who is out in front because of this battle. He is so far out ahead that there's absolutely... there's lap cars near him, and that's about it. I mean, we are seeing a phenomenal start to this race, and I think, if anything, this is making him a little more comfortable. And honestly, he's filling out that race car in clean air. So we'll see if it helps him or hurts him there in the second stage, but right now he's looking pretty solid.
I believe this is the white flag, so he's coming up to win the first stage here at Vegas. Yep, there's the classic AI yeet back to the racing line that pretty much signals the end of the stage.
JoJo and AJ are going to have a pretty good battle there to the end, but JoJo's going to take second, AJ third, Schumacher going to be fourth, Luke Allen is going to get that 5th position.
Thompson has sent himself to the Shadow Realm. As we wait for the caution period to run out, and all the drivers to set up any adjustments that they may need to make. Something maybe went wrong. I know one person who's probably not making adjustments is Grayson Perry, as the field stacks back up once again, and we are green for stage 2 here in Las Vegas. I could have sworn you weren't supposed to go beneath the white line on the restarts, but forget that. All 3 championship contenders are in the inside in a line, so this might be a little spicy if anything goes wrong on the restart, which doesn't seem like it's happening so far. Luke Allen with a really good restart if I can find him somewhere on this discombobulating list of drivers.
And that's one thing I mentioned with him, was that he has the experience now of what that car is going to do when he has to race other cars. Currently almost a 1-2-3 between the championship drivers. All he's got to do is pass JoJo, but that's obviously not been the easiest thing for anybody to do. JoJo being one of the quicker cars on the racetrack, but he's now getting pressured by Schumacher. They're about to go 3 wide for the 6th position, it looks like.
As JoJo remains ahead of the 3, the 34 inserts himself into the picture. The 1 car trying to force the 3 behind this group. Luke Allen has lost out to the 4. He might lose out to the 34 as well. Ooh, everyone's very loose on the exit there, and Luke Allen was just mere inches away from being absolutely clobbered by the 34. As the 88's not quite getting away as quickly as he was before. AJ very much keeping him in check. I should probably put the camera on them if I'm talking about them, huh? Professional commentator.
Oh, a little bit of contact there between the drivers in the 4th and 5th position. Luke Allen got barely into the back of the number 34, Schumacher. It's Jackson Schumacher, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure that I wasn't stepping on my toes there. Aston, it is lap 4 of stage 2, so theoretically speaking, lap 43 in the race out of 134.
And not even a third of the way done yet, and yet the 3 and 34 have made contact quite a few times, and I can only imagine that may have repercussions later, as everyone is frantically changing lanes. Jackson Tate applying a gargantuan block on the 24 back there. That's allowed Jonathan Juergensmeyer in the 41 to actually take both of those places. If I can find him somewhere on the spectators list, for the love of God. He took them down the front stretch, but lost them in turn 1 and 2, and is now losing even more positions. He's now 3 wide with the 8 and the 1 car. And he might be under more threat from even additional cars yet. He's going to lose 4 places in 1 turn. The poor soul in the 41 car. I think that's illegal, the way that man just got robbed.
Meanwhile, we look back out front, and it's a little more spread out at the front. Grayson Perry pulling right back away from that 18 machine of AJ Knickel. Schumacher now leads the 3rd spot with Jackson Tate, a car that's been not really too much of a name that we've spoken about. Really, now he's fighting for the 4th spot with Luke Allen, our 3rd championship contender, who's struggling a little bit. Speaking of struggling, JoJo lost a lot of positions there. Oh, the 24 getting a little loose.
Yeah, JoJo was forced on the lane he didn't want to be in, and he got mugged by the 34, 3, and potentially 19 all at once. It's absolute gridlock. Jackson Tate almost walling the 4 off of 2. Luke is basically just trying to survive at this point above everything else. Admittedly, I think you could probably say that for anybody that isn't the 18 or 88. The 34 is kind of getting some clean air, but everybody else is just in this parking panic back here for 4th on back.
You know, Jackson Schumacher has absolutely reeled in that number 18 machine. He's doing pretty good right now. Maybe one of the quicker cars on the racetrack. Unfortunately, no way to tell that. Other than visuals, which, again, the only visual I see is how big his car is compared to AJ's on the screen that I'm looking at. So hopefully we're not giving you misinformation here, people.
Neat when I spread information across the internet.
Thankfully, on most places you have fact checkers, but we don't really have those here on the ARC broadcast.
We don't even have a leaderboard on the ARC broadcast, so...
Yeah, based on what I'm seeing, he's definitely reeling them in.
And JoJo's plummeting. I believe he may have some damage to his vehicle. I'm not sure what it could have come from. It's anybody's guess but his own.
He is getting hounded by nothing but Chevrolets right now. This is not good if you're JoJo. He's got the 8, the 9, the 1, the 48.
The Chevrolet big brigade attacks.
Oh, speaking of...
Jackson Tate. The 24 Faison Thompson just playing a bit of ping pong with some of our drivers.
Obviously, from what I saw happen, it looked like a little bit of contact with the 19 there, sent the 24 into the wall. The 24 is going to lose all those positions there, but still stay in the draft and somewhat relevant. Back to kind of the front, though. A.J. Knickel starting to feel a little more pressure from that 34 machine of Jackson Schumacher. He's worked his way, running that middle groove a little bit quicker than the 18, starting to get up to the back bumper of A.J. Knickel. And ladies and gentlemen, while we have you here, if you are enjoying our NASCAR heat action that you're seeing on your screen right now, our ARC NASCAR Championship finale here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, be sure to stay up to date on our socials for the upcoming 2023 ARC NASCAR iRacing Series. We're going to have 30 races in the next gen around some of the best tracks on the circuit, and the newly, you're actually going to see it next year in the NASCAR Cup Series, the Chicago Street Course. All the links to all of our media, including our sign-up page for our website, and another link is in our Discord. They're in our banner on PC, our YouTube banner right here that you're currently watching, or they're in our links on mobile.
We have a battle for second place. Jackson Schumacher is tired of waiting. He's going to go for P2 against A.J. Knickel. You couldn't help but notice, too, as the camera panned out there, Luke Allen is starting to get a little bit closer to these two as well. Himself freed from the bedlam back here. But Schumacher could not make the pass stick just yet. The melee back here for about 5th place rages onward. Currently it's between Dawson Brush and Jackson Tate to lead this train of, I think, pretty much the rest of the field. If not, well, not literally the rest of it, but the vast majority of the field that isn't a Championship 3 driver or Jackson Schumacher. So I think that makes it about a... Yeah, I just saw him in the corner of the screen. He has taken P2 away from AJ Knickel. Let's see if he can try and take it back. I don't think AJ can. I don't think AJ wants to try at this moment either. Save any unnecessary risks for stage 3 if you have to take them at all.
You know, I think the 34 has just made some really good adjustments here. Obviously, maybe not burning up as much stuff as the 18 is right now, but speaking of the 18, he's going to try to go to the outside of Jackson Schumacher. Going to get to the corner panel on entry. Maybe going to be there on exit. I don't think he will, though. Lots of momentum loss sliding up the corner.
Yeah, in the back, we had a bit of a problem with the 37 and the 17 crashed, and I believe we're under caution.
Caution's out.
Because I think the 24 is getting a little physical with the 19. I believe he may believe that the 19 is responsible for him losing those places, as we alluded to on stream a handful of minutes ago. It did kind of look like the 19 moved up late and covered the 24 off.
And while we are getting sorted under yellow here, off of the last announcement that was made there with the ARC NASCAR iRacing Series, speaking on the behalf of Shifty Sports here, I would like to announce for them that we're going to have a team come into the ARC NASCAR iRacing Series that is newly formed. I literally have a thing written out and I'm still stuttering. Don't laugh. It's okay.
I was not good at that.
Oh, we got bumper games going on?
Yeah, I was seeing Luke and AJ messing around.
So I'm gonna read my pamphlet now so I don't stutter. But on behalf of Shift Esports, led by former ARC drivers Seth Rawls and Matthew Bayuk, if you guys, obviously, I think a lot of people in the ARC community know them, Shift Esports is going to be fielding 3 entries in the NASCAR iRacing Series. The team's excited to announce our lineup of all returning former ARC drivers, myself, Ty McIntosh, Nathaniel Cherry, and Gilberto Javier Gomera. More info on that to come soon at Shift Esports on Twitter and Instagram.
I say Matthew's last name fast enough, I don't think he threw up.
Oh, Bayuk?
Bayuk!
Bayuk. As we have drivers coming down pit road here.
Literally every single one of them, because this is right in the middle of where the pit cycle would be if we were under green flags.
Grayson Perry might come out with the lead here. I think this also, we're deep enough in this stage. I think this eliminates the strategy for the back half of the stage.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. This is right in the middle of the stage. This is going to basically take us straight to the end of it.
So Grayson Perry is going to be your leader. Schumacher still second. AJ third. Looks like we're going to have
Dylan Thomas is going to have stolen the 4th position from Luke Allen. And Carter Ritchie also jumped up a number of positions under that pit stop. He's now running, I think that I saw him there in P6 or 7 alongside JoJo. If I ever do another ARC NASCAR broadcast, I need to remember to write down the drivers in the order they qualified, so I'm not just sitting here doing trying to find who I'm looking for, because I don't know what order they're in.
I feel like that's not going to help, because I tried to do the same thing and it didn't really work.
Well, that's why I did to write them in the order they qualified. That's how they stack up.
As we're coming back to green here, 18 laps to go this time by here on stage 2. Grayson Perry's going to bring us back to the green flag. AJ Knickel putting pressure on him. Here's the one now moving down to the bottom lane. Trying to get underneath AJ Knickel, not really going to work. Here's Schumacher to the outside now.
I don't think Schumacher's really going to be part of it. I think he's losing a lot of speed actually to AJ and even to the one of Dylan Thomas. Roll the dice to find the one car. There he is. I think they're actually 3 wide. Schumacher and Luke Allen were for a split second, but Thomas found a way ahead. He's running P3. This is a rookie, mind you. He wasn't even here at the start of the season. He joined midway through, and he's running near-ish the front and amongst the championship contenders.
AJ Knickel. Oh, wait, I hear contact somewhere back in the field. Yeah, look at the 20.
The 37 continues to get collected in things. This is her 3rd crash of the race. This time I believe it was instigated by the 41 back there, but doesn't seem like that's worthy of a caution. I think the 37 was the only one that spun from that.
The 24 is on pit road. I don't think they're moving anymore.
No, they quit. They might have been told to quit after they ran into the Tate under caution. As for the first time all race, I think we have the championship runners all running 1, 2, 3. Jackson Schumacher doesn't like that much, though, and he's trying to go down the inside of the 3 to take that spot away. I'm going the wrong way.
Luke Allen knows that if he battles AJ right now, they're going to let Grayson Perry slowly slip away as they did in the first stage. Maybe trying to not let that happen again as we see him maybe trying to work with AJ there, not trying to pass him, but at what point is he quicker than AJ and he feels like he's giving up more space, getting frustrated?
As we were saying that, he didn't really have a choice in the matter because he was too busy trying to keep Jackson Schumacher behind, but he's got a little bit of clean air, but knowing how these two, their relationship is, I think Luke Allen understands the assignment. He probably doesn't even have it in him to try and pass AJ at the moment. Only way that I think he actually does pass the 18 is if AJ's making a mistake.
And I'll tell you what I'm noticing, those pit stops right there, suddenly everybody's a lot closer. More importantly, Our guys are running 1 and 2, AJ and Grayson. They are both on top of each other. We've seen Grayson start to spread out a little bit. I think AJ might have started to figure out where he's got to go on those adjustments to make sure that he stays up there with that 88 machine.
As we are looking very single file at the moment, any battling for position is happening outside of the top 5, really. As it's Perry, Knickel, Allen, Schumacher, Heitzman, and Dylan Thomas all under our blanket, basically running bumper to bumper, but nobody's making any attempt at passing. Jackson Tate is a distant part in this as well. He's not quite in slipstream range, though, so he's just kind of hanging on by a loose thread and nothing more. This is where we should cut to a commercial break, but you've already announced everything you have to announce, and I don't have anything to announce, so... Luke Allen's trying the high lane. He might regret that, because Jackson Schumacher almost snuck a splitter in there. His efforts left him vulnerable to the 4 of Jojo Heitzman, though, so we might... The single-file solidarity may be in jeopardy in the near future here, as Luke Allen has lost a noticeable amount of time to the 2 leaders. And now at this point, he's just kind of backing up the 4 and 34. Not really necessarily even, like, trying to. That's just kind of how it's advancing here.
Meanwhile, possible battle for the lead. AJ Knickel trying to get under the 88 of Grayson Perry. Started to peak a little bit. No room.
Behind them, now Schumacher's going to try for P3 against the 3. The numbers, they're nearly making contact again. Jojo almost snuck himself in there underneath the 34, but that door was closed. You have to keep that door shut with him. He is the ultimate opportunist when it comes to racing for position, as Luke Allen had a bad exit there, I think, and now both the 4 and 34 have overtaken him. Better maybe let them by to avoid jeopardizing his race any further.
I was going to say, they needed to separate. Having the 3, the 4, and the 34, I couldn't take it.
Well, they're still together. It's not like there's a car in between them. Just that, you know, they've stopped battling for a moment. And I think as soon as the tires start to wear down, the field spreads out further, because now we're starting to see the 88 getting away from Knickel, who's getting away from Luke Allen, and he's being caught by the 34 and the 4 car. So, I think short runs, we might have a toss-up, but I think if the final stage goes flag to flag, Grayson Perry is odds-on the favorite, because he's been literally uncontested in both stages so far.
So we see a little bit of a shuffle there between the 3 and the 34. Now going to be 3 wide.
3 wide again. Luke Allen's stuck in the middle. He just backs out and lets this one go. Only halfway through the race. Never mind, he's going to cross over to the inside of both cars and try and retake his position amongst the championship contenders. And it seems like he might do just that on the inside of the 34. The inside does generally seem to be the passing lane if you can stick it. They were almost 3 wide again. Schumacher walls himself trying to either avoid or push the 3. And now it's Jojo Heitzman back on Luke Allen's back bumper. Dylan Thomas following Schumacher's slight error. Now in slipstream range, he might slowly claw his way into this battle himself. I think AJ Knickel's current status is he's He's like just in slipstream range, but that's it.
Yeah, I think it's like you said earlier. Short runs, bingo. Long runs, eh.
Short runs, battle. Long runs, 88 car. It's that simple, really.
To make it in Vegas terms, short run, roll the dice. Long run, no dice.
Long run, house wins.
Yeah, and the house is Chibi himself, Grayson Perry.
As they're going to go 3 wide again back here for third place. You would think these 3 were the title contenders the way that they've been battling for third place this whole race. Oh, there's big contact between the 4 and 34. I'm shocked that wasn't disastrous just there. As I think we've just crossed over to 2 to go here in stage 2.
Yep.
And suddenly Jojo finds himself almost in the lead. Luke Allen has a slight run on the outside. Schumacher almost pushed the 4. Said he pushes him up the racetrack, and he might take both places instead. Nope, Luke Allen's going to be on the outside in the cleaner air because he's not fighting the 2 Fords up there. He's going to remain in P3, and Jojo's going to probably be seething after that. Schumacher sends it down the inside of the 3. That's not Schumacher. There we go. Runs Luke up the track. Ooh, barely avoids the wall. Jojo also barely avoiding Schumacher. That's not going to be a popular one there. But it is once again yet another stage victory. Grayson Perry will sweep both stages in Las Vegas. Now let's see if he can complete the blackjack. That was forced.
A little bit. Obviously, Grayson Perry's going to win stage 2, AJ Knickel second, Jack Schumacher third, fourth, Jojo fifth, Luke Allen after a little bit of contact with the 34, and that is going to be your top 5. While we have this break from the action, ladies and gentlemen, if you are enjoying what you're seeing and you want to be a part of the action, links to the ARC Discord, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook page, and TikTok are all in the description of this video, as well as if you go to the Discord, I'm sure you can find other links to sign up for the series if you want to. So be sure to check that out if you want to get in on the action. Obviously, this is a season finale, but 2023 is right around the corner.
You know, the drivers line back up for the beginning of stage 3. Only 14 cars in the field, but we don't really need too many more here as we are green once more from Las Vegas Speedway.
Jack Schumacher already about to take the second spot away from AJ Knickel. He's going to have a huge run on our race leader, and so far the dominator, Grayson Perry. Luke Allen's also there.
Oh, where did you come from? The 34 makes a little more contact with the 3. The inside's been the passing lane, but these are on fresh tires. Who knows how that might change. Luke Allen sliding up the track. He gives Schumacher a nudge, walls the 34, and we have chaos. AJ Knickel is sent into a pratfall, and that might be a yellow flag.
37 hard on the inside wall, the 19, the 18.
Man, Skylar Nicole is having a me race. She has been involved in every single crash. You had 4 crashes through two stages in a lap, and she has been a part of literally every single one.
And I don't want to say that I know for sure whether it was or not, but I think I know what caused that accident, and it looked like it might have been a little bit of a bite in the tongue moment for Luke Allen there, maybe a bit of a nudge to the back of the 34. Again, I'm not totally sure, so don't jump
I was on Luke Allen's camera.
That's what it looked like.
I was on Luke Allen's camera when it happened, and he slid up the track. Obviously dirty air, lose a little bit of cornering. He slid up into the 34. 34 meets the wall, and Heat 5 physics took over from there. Ultimately wasn't anybody's fault, because in real life, it wouldn't have been that ridiculous.
Yeah, so pit stops are underway. One quick check in the chat. Alan Tavignero, HRT owner, saying that Jack has impressed him so far. Happy that they signed him for next season. Jack obviously not on the greatest end of that last altercation, but should bounce
He's obviously
back.
got the speed to recover.
Yeah. Big Jim, time for a Luke Allen championship. We certainly hoping for an exciting finish here. I don't really have a favorite, to be honest with you. I think the favorite has been decided in the way of who's running the best, and that's definitely Grayson Perry in the 88 machine, but anything can happen. Short run, long run. Francis Strand.
Interesting. Francis. There's no other way I can phrase that. That's just Francis, Bean Francis.
That's Francis. And as we get ready to go green here, once again, lap 85 of 134.
Some strategy shakeup as the 17 of, I don't know, and the 8 of Carter Ritchie are on the front row. I do not believe that they must not have pit on this occasion. And we're not going green here. And thought we were, but then everybody was fanning out like crazy, and I'm like, oh, we're not green.
I think that decision was made due to the 37 just now leaving pit road.
Probably, yeah. I suppose at this point, with the amount of repair time that they'd have to spend on that car must be monumental, because they've been in so many crashes. You'd think that car came out of a burnout or flat-out game.
Or a cereal box, but honestly, I would think that car is the cereal box.
Yeah, you just step on it, throw it in the garbage.
Hopefully, we can see
the Velveeta car looking a bit more like Swiss cheese.
That's definitely not liquid gold.
No, that's fool's gold. Let me get this right. So now we have Grayson Perry running P3. Restarting P3, I should say. Luke Allen in 4th on his outside. But AJ Knickel is starting back in, I think, like 7th or 8th.
That's the 7th position. Actually, that's the 9th position for AJ Knickel.
So he's going to have a bit of work to do. The 8 and 17 will probably go down pretty easily, though, based on just the pace that our championship contending drivers have shown so far.
They're 3 wide for the 3rd spot. The 4 gets into the 3 up into the 8.
Jojo just slams the 3 of Luke Allen up the track to take P3 away. And I mean slams.
AJ Knickel is absolutely in this dogfight right now. Do not want to be him, as he's in the middle of on the bottom of a 4-wide situation. Contact the 9 into the 48, the 19 now with contact.
Yeah, great teamwork down there at 79M. The 9 is all over the place, and we have more chaos. 79M making themselves look like clowns as their lead driver is a championship contender looking like the odds-on favorite. The 9 and 48 tripping over each other's shoelaces. But no caution for that. It's only a 2-car crash, so...
Big benefit of that was AJ Knickel moves up from the 9th spot all the way already back up to the 5th spot. Grayson Perry is now your new leader once again, with the 1 of Dylan Thomas right behind him in 2nd. The 17 still hanging on in 3rd. Luke Allen, though, starting to rebound in that 4th spot.
And minus the existence of the 1 and 17, it's like nothing really changed at all, because that didn't really have a huge effect on our championship leaders. It just affected other cars that, aren't. As Carter Ritchie is attempting to, he's battling alongside the 34, as the 34 is trying to get back to where he started, more or less. Ahead of that, AJ and Luke Allen have found their way beyond the 17 car. The 1 car may not be so easy, because he has shown significant pace so far, to the extent that he's actually pushing the 88 away from those 2 cars. So he's able to stick with them better, arguably, than AJ has so far in this event. Musto and Thomas's car is the ultimate short-run machine, and he'll just sputter out in a handful of laps. As it's AJ versus Luke for P3. I think AJ's just going to let that one go. He's just going to let that one go. Not late enough in the stage to be concerned with that.
Talked about Jackson Schumacher and how he was going to have to rebound. Currently back up into the 6th position. Obviously, that's not as high as he was or as high as he would like to be, but Strong move back towards the middle of the field for the 34 machine. Looks well on his way to maybe get up there and challenge the 17 and the 18 of AJ Knickel.
Thomas still mostly hanging with Grayson Perry. I'm very surprised by his performance. He's, to me, been the dark horse. He's obviously, I don't think he's got race-winning pace, but he's certainly got a top 5 car if he keeps it out of danger. Knickel pushing Luke Allen as much as he physically can do to try and get up to their main title rival and to his lackey in the one car there. You just saw AJ pull off such a smooth overtake on Luke Allen. I honestly didn't even notice it happened at first until I had to kind of mentally check in my head, wait, when did he get there? You literally watched him get there, Riker. Dylan Thomas is starting to lose track of Grayson Perry. Excuse me. I did not have the time for the mute button on that one. Meanwhile, in the background, I think I see Jackson Schumacher trying to get ahead of the 17, who does not have a name in their Discord, so I don't know who they are. So I'm just going to refer to them as the 17 car.
I also think he's going to concede to the 34 here. Maybe, at least it looked like it was possibly going to happen. Jackson Schumacher, concede or do not concede. He does not care. He's going to power down to the bottom of the racetrack, slide up just a little bit, and maybe have the run on the 17. Contact.
You don't want to be in the outside of Jackson Schumacher in this race.
Yeah, definitely not. I mean, I'm trying to not be biased, but what I saw there earlier in that last run with the contact with Luke Allen definitely did not make me feel comfortable if I am anybody that saw that on the outside.
Ironically, Luke Allen kind of gave him chase of his own medicine. And just the most ironic, dramatic extension of that, Schumacher will complete the pass on the 17 at long last. Meanwhile, our battle at the front really isn't much of a battle at the moment. Everyone's pretty evenly spread out. Luke Allen is just about hanging on to the back. I'm going the wrong way. Just about holding on to the back of the 18, but not too well, and they're not going to be gaining a whole lot of time with that amount of force.
As we have hit 38 to go this time by, come to 37. Live look at your championship contenders. Right now leading is Grayson Perry. He has dominated all race, looks to continue to do the same. AJ Knickel riding in the 3rd spot. Luke Allen in the 4th spot. Those are your championship 3. Unfortunately, the 20 of Michael Laudenslager not able to make it tonight. So he has finished 4th in the standings.
Well, those skid marks there heading through too. That's exactly what happened in a previous run. I think that would have been the 37 skid marks there.
So everybody has kind of spaced out.
Oh, AJ Knickel gets into the wall. Luke Allen just going to say, alright, works for me, and he'll take 3rd place back. I totally forgot that there is a camera option, even though it literally says square to change camera and then on the bottom of my screen.
Doing good there, buddy, doing good.
Listen, now, after the start of this broadcast, I've been paranoid to press any button that isn't the X or circle.
So we have a battle for that 2nd position in the championship standings. AJ Knickel, Luke Allen, side by side, trying to make each other maybe make a mistake to make it easier for the other one to get around. But I don't think that that's quite going to happen. AJ's going to clear the 3. Coming off of turn 2, but I think Luke Allen's going to have another run on the outside. He does. Whether he makes it stick or not, we will find out. He does not.
No, Luke Allen just backed out of that.
What can we say about Grayson Perry that hasn't been said tonight? Dominating, championship favorite at the moment. Long run speed is cracked. Short run speed's cracked. I mean, this guy has ice in his veins. He's not feeling anything, no pressure. From the drop of the green flag, I mean, he started on pole. won Stage 1, won Stage 2, and is now well on his way to potentially winning an ARC NASCAR Cup Series championship.
I'm trying to think of a casino or gambling joke for this, but there really isn't one. This is just...
This is just... the lotto?
Well, no, because that's luck-based. This hasn't been luck. This has just been... I'm faster than everybody else on this racetrack. Basically, no questions.
Are you saying gambling isn't luck, my guy?
No, I'm saying what he's doing, what Grayson has done in this race is not luck, it's skill.
Okay, well, true.
Like, there is no maybe in this race up to this point. There's hardly been a question.
Okay, well, then we'll say he's running the table.
He's counting cards.
There we go, that works. Watch us get copyrighted by counting cars. That'd be terrible.
I don't think saying the name of something is a copyright strike.
I know, but you never know. Hey, copyrights come from left and right. Speaking of coming from left and right, AJ Knickel and Luke Allen are running down the one car of Dylan Thomas.
Think about that one again. I think AJ Knickel just signaled that he was pitting there, or something.
We are on lap 104 of 134, so that I don't think that's going to make the fuel window, but I don't think they can go any further. Nope, AJ Knickel is staying out.
Okay,
so.
no, maybe he just let Luke Allen by then, I guess.
As someone who is caught up to that group of two, Jackson Schumacher is ironically right back up there, maybe looking to put the pressure on AJ Knickel and Luke Allen as we head into the later part of this race. No contender for Grayson Perry right now. No contender for the one of Dylan Thomas, who has surprisingly done very well in the back half of this race.
He's done relatively well for all of it. He just needed that track position. He was able to just take the money and run. Especially given the instances where Luke Allen and AJ Knickel tripped over each other, slowed one another down along the way. As we see another example of that as AJ's trying to take the spot away from the three. And meanwhile, Schumacher's just back there licking his lips because this is only helping him more than anybody else.
Keep our eyes on that 34 car as well. Is a little bit behind them, the 17 and the 4. They're going at it for what I want to say would be the 6th and 7th position.
Yep. And I think JoJo's made that... He stuck that pretty commandingly now.
AJ's now down to the inside of the 3 car. Jackson Schumacher with a pretty good view of this. Actually, as I say that run goes nowhere.
Psych, we thought.
Okay, I'm not gonna... Nope, not... Okay. Wait till we get to the side view. Alright, now... AJ Knickel is going to put the pressure on Luke Allen here. AJ's going to go high. Luke Allen goes low. Jackson Schumacher kind of just following that 18. Luke Allen is going to park the bus on the bottom. Contact between the 18 and 34. Jackson Schumacher now to the inside of AJ Knickel. Literally, homie just parked the bus.
Schumacher pushes AJ Knickel up the racetrack. Quite the way to race the championship contender there. Aggressive driving like that isn't usually much of a problem, depending on who you do it to. But when it's a championship contender and you're not in the championship, then it's treated a little differently.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
And Knickel's going to look back to the bottom of the 34. He wants that back. But Schumacher's running the top lane very well, and that's also AJ Knickel is not boxing. And potentially even got damage from being bashed into by Jackson Schumacher, so I'd probably get the camera off him. Is now following all of that, it is a 5-car train headed by Luke Allen. I feel like we've been here before in this race.
Definitely have. As with 25 laps to go, AJ Knickel coming down pit road. He will start the cycle. We will wait to see what Grayson Perry will do. He's going to stay out as we saw him do that earlier in the run. Here comes the 19 of Jackson Tate. He's a lap car, though, so that obviously doesn't carry as much value as someone of the 3 or the 88.
Or really anybody
However,
in
I
like
do
the top
believe
6.
The tire light should be on for just about everybody right now. Looking at JoJo, his just came on. Luke Allen might have just made a little bit of contact with the wall there out of turn 2.
I think Jackson Schumacher just signaled he's boxing. Why do I keep saying boxing, pitting? Meaning my European terminology. That happens when you have a guy who's commented at F1 for like 2 years, commented a NASCAR race.
Grayson Perry stays out. Luke Allen stays out. Your car's currently on pit road. Jackson Schumacher, as you already mentioned. And AJ Knickel is back out on the racetrack, just now crossing the start-finish line. We look for the leader, Grayson Perry. He is right now entering turn 4. And it looks like he will be pitting that number 88 machine this time. He does. Here comes the one of Dylan Thomas as well. Luke Allen now becomes the last Championship 3 contender to stay out and not bring that Chevy down to pit road. Here comes the 17 and the 6 as well.
JoJo's also staying out, so even now Luke Allen's not completely alone.
AJ Knickel now crossing the start-finish, coming to unlap himself this time. Going to be interesting to see where he comes out compared to the 88. He's going to fly right past Jackson Schumacher, who is still on the access road. Put about a second to a second and a half between those two.
As now the two other leaders box, pit. It's oversteer. It's not loose. And that will more or less complete the cycle for all of the relevant contestants here. So now it's just time to see how they...
AJ Knickel might be the leader. Maybe not quite the leader, but at least going to be coming out second here.
Yeah,
this happen.
He's jumped Dylan Thomas easily, but he's nowhere near the 88. Remains to be seen where the one's been jumped by him. I think the one had a very conservative pit entry. Jackson Schumacher is right there with him as well. Now it just remains to be seen where the 3 and the 4 exit. Nowhere near them as well. They've both been jumped by AJ.
4th, 5th. Luke Allen might just fall to 6th, maybe even 7th here after this pit stop. Oh, he's going to remain to fall to 5th. Obviously still not the greatest thing that he wanted to see there. Is it 6th?
Yeah, because 88, 18, 134, 4, 3.
That is, shoot.
I know, I can't blame you for forgetting the 88's in the race because he's so far ahead of everybody else, but he is there.
Ultimately, with 20 laps to go on the dot, everybody's good on fuel, everybody's good on tires to this point. Barring a yellow, we are pretty much at a heap on who our champion's going to be. Obviously, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th still up for grabs. Or, well, 2nd and 3rd, truthfully, because obviously Loudon Slugger not being able to be here tonight to fight for the championship. Even then, I hate to say it, but I don't think anybody would have brought the fight to Grayson Perry, who has been absolutely dominant tonight. He's exiting turn 2, and now AJ Knickel just exits turn 2. So that's the gap between your two championship contenders. We talked pre-race that, winning the pole doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have a great race. It is a start, though. And Grayson Perry wins the pole, wins stage 1, wins stage 2, has dominated a great portion of this race, has played the pit strategy perfectly, defended the shortcuts, or the undercuts, and the overcut that Luke Allen tried to make there, and he has just been unfazed by it.
AJ is starting to get clear of everybody else, but never mind. As I say this, I think he just got into the outside wall, and now here come the cavalry. 134, 3, and 4, all joining the party. So everyone's gonna have a little bit of fun here, I guess. Even though Grayson Perry he's on his way to Phoenix, basically. We already did that race several weeks ago, but
Luke Allen in the 34 made contact.
Whoa. Luke Allen and the 34 collide again. I feel like I'm detecting something of a pattern there. Honestly, with how much AJ was slowing down there, I was beginning to think there was a yellow flag.
Yeah, no, I thought AJ Knickel was going to maybe lose control of the race car there. A little bit of contact got him involved. He's able to save it, though. We are still green. That is definitely not what Grayson Perry wanted to hear or see, as he is still set sail, but the 34 and the 3 again. Oh, okay. Oh, I don't know if you saw that, but I saw it. Looked like
I think it kind of did.
a credit card swipe. AJ Knickel now back underneath the 3 of Luke Allen. Following the 1, here comes JoJo looking to make it maybe 3 wide, not quite. AJ going to make it 3 wide? No. Barely. Everybody's just moving, wiggling. It's like literally watching a tapeworm.
Automotive Centipede, go!
We're kind of single file, kind of not. I feel like watching these lines form tonight, it's like when you get the action figures that you just pop the heads off and put new ones on. I feel like that's literally just a line where you just take you take Jackson Schumacher's head off right now, you put Luke Allen's on. It doesn't.
You take Jackson Schumacher's head off out of context.
Yeah, you take that out of context, then we have a problem. But
fatality.
I believe 13 laps to go, maybe 12 this time. I'm going to find out just to be safe. And we are going to have the end of the race. I think it's going to be 13. I could be wrong. 13 laps to go. Here in Las Vegas.
Luke Allen has managed to make it back to P2, despite Jackson Schumacher and him basically having magnets in their cars, apparently. Dylan Thomas is fighting to grasp onto what positions he hasn't yet lost.
Grayson Perry navigates these last couple lap cars here, coming up on the 13. Billy Targi.
Oh, we got more contact, I thought, between the 3 and 34. It was very close to it if there wasn't. The 3 and 34 are continuing to fight for second position here and heading onto the front straightaway. Behind that, you still have Dylan Thomas.
Spending his life.
Yeah, and we also have more so Dylan Thomas spending for his life against the 4 of JoJo. Schumacher almost gets into the 3 again. At least that's what it looked like from that camera. It's hard to be sure. This has been a very interesting perspective for me as this commentator for this one, because obviously I was a driver in this series literally up until this race. I literally was slated to run this event, but I'm like, I just got a podium in Autopolis on Monday. I'd rather that be my final race than probably run tonight and finish 13th. Could walk away with a podium over 2 drivers that I raced with back in 2016. So here I am as the commentator instead. I don't usually get to see these battles. I'm usually half a lap behind these cars, just kind of hearing about it, and usually getting involved in crashes. So I seldom get to see battles like the one that Schumacher and Allen are having here for P2, as these two have continued to battle for 10 laps straight in contact on the exit there. Again, at this point I'm surprised we can even still read their number font with how many times they've made door-to-door contact. Behind that, Dylan Thomas is free-ish from JoJo. Never mind, I am kidding. He's just out of shot. He's trying to get ahead of AJ Knickel, so at least put something in between him and the Busch Light car.
Before JoJo gets into the wall just a little bit there, it's going to separate him from AJ Knickel and Dylan Thomas as we hit 7 to go this time by. Sorry. Grayson Perry loving the fact that he's seeing those numbers wind down with nobody around him but a lap car. Probably, taking in his season as he counts this down.
AJ Knickel, I don't know what he was doing there. I think he had to catch a loose race car. And it puts him out of the battle with Dylan Thomas. Meanwhile, ahead of that, we still have the 34 and 3 going at it. These two have been, like, conjoined at birth, it seems like. Forget the battle for the championship. There hardly was one. We've just had this ongoing war between the 34 and the 3 car. There's been contact, there's been swap positions. They've worked together sometimes, they've worked against each other sometimes. They caused a caution earlier. This has been the headline of the race more than the championship battle, if you ask me. It's not really anyone's fault but Grayson Perry's for running away with it. And none of the cameras even pan out far enough to show that car on the screen as it stands with about 5 laps to go.
5 laps this time. We're going to be coming to 4. And that's 4 circuits.
That's 6 miles to go.
From Grayson Perry is over. I mean, at this point, I think he's probably counting his lucky stars.
Probably just counting down the days until his next conquest at this rate.
I mean, to be fair, his name is Chippy the Champ, but, you know, you can't... He had to win at least one.
As I say, names don't usually mean anything. You're not a hazard, and I don't have any muscle tone in my body, so...
Understandable. Have a good day. 3 to go for Grayson Perry on what has been a dominating night. We literally, the only car that is within viewable distance is the 13 of Billy Targhee.
That's a lapped car.
Even then a lapped car.
The 3 and 34 still continue to throw their cars at each other to try and hold on to second place. Behind them, the battle between AJ, Dylan, and JoJo has since ended. I'm going the wrong way again. I'm very good at that. Billy Targhee's just stopping on the track more or less to let everybody go. No risks taken with getting in anybody's way. As we are on about a lap and a half left to go. You are not 34. Whoops.
Grayson Perry comes to start the final lap, get that white flag. Think about how his night went so far. Pole winner. Stage 1 winner. Stage 2 winner. Most laps led, definitely. Some of the best pit strategy of the night. And he's got half a lap until he's going to be an ARC NASCAR Cup Series champion, doing a little bit of a swerve down the backstretch. In absolute dominating fashion. Grayson Perry is going to come out of turn 4. Steady 9 Motorsports is going to get another, I think, the first championship. And Grayson Perry is an ARC NASCAR Cup Series champion.
And who's going to win the battle for second? It's going to be, I think it was Luke Allen. Yeah, it was. So 1-2 for 2 of the championship contenders. AJ Knickel dejected, but if you ask me, he's got enough championships. So he comes home, and I believe to have been P5. P6 actually, if the one car exists. Admittedly, amidst all of this, amidst the battle between Schumacher and Allen, the obvious domination in this championship race, Dylan Thomas for me was a dark horse driver. He ends up P4. He qualified it, I think, in P4 as well. This guy's a rookie. He's run, I think, 10 ARC NASCAR races. And he slung it with the championship contenders in this one. So there's no driver of the day in F1, but it might honestly be him, if not the 88. I guess that's my vote. But that brings to an end one of 3 championships ending in the next 7 days. The ARC NASCAR season is in the books, but that is not quite the end of the 2022 season. As the next race, if you care to join on Friday evening for the ARC Formula 1 finale, the championship for that was decided like last year, it seems like, at this point, with that series' own dominant force in the form of Nicolas Piquet, but other points positions are still up for grabs, and there's always just the kind of finality of the last race of the season. And then even further from that is the final round of the ARC Supercars Championship at Mount Panorama Bathurst. That's going to be a very long triple points race, which that is going to be an absolute clown fiesta. So until then, Riker Lummel and Ty McIntosh signing off. That's a screenshot.